Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Allie, and in this video, we're gonna do a little bit of a pre-spring decorate with me. So first we're gonna go shopping. I'm gonna take you guys to a few of my favorite stores. We're gonna go to HomeGoods, we're gonna stop by TJ Maxx, we're gonna stop by Ross, we're gonna go also to the thrift shop. I like to go to the thrift shop right before a season starts because I like to see what kind of items they have, maybe what kind of items are similar to things that we're seeing on some of the more expensive websites and stores right now. I always like to see if I can find thrifted options. And then we're gonna come back home and I'm gonna share with you guys the main living spaces of my home and how I like to get them ready to decorate for spring. I won't be going full on spring. I just wanna say that up front. So I'm not gonna be putting out like all the tulips and the bright colors. I'm not quite ready for that yet. We're still in very early February. I am doing a slow transition though. I really like to share with you guys how I take my home through the seasons. So this is gonna be showing you how I transition from winter over into early spring. Also got a few really nice Valentine's Day items. I don't go all out with that, but I do add little touches of Valentine's Day all around the home. And then at the end, I'm gonna take you guys into the kitchen and we're gonna make a couple of easy recipes that you can do for Valentine's Day. If you like videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you have your notifications turned on so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Also give this video a thumbs up and drop me a comment down below. That really helps my channel and I love hearing from you guys, so I appreciate that very much. So I'm excited for this one. I think that you guys are really gonna like it. I can't wait to share it with you. So without further ado, let's get into the video. We are first getting started at TJ Maxx and I was so impressed with the whole wall of spring art that they had, just really beautiful prints, and I loved the frames on this one. I really love all the ornate detail on the top, and these were just so cool. I think if you had a gallery wall, these would be a great addition, and they're only $14.99. They had so many in stock. Then they also had a lot of really nice bird prints, a lot of nice florals with those vintage frames that are just really beautiful. Again, perfect for an addition to a gallery wall. This piece was so cool and I had to showcase it because I actually saw it recently on the Pottery Barn website as a wine holder, like a wine ice bucket. And this one was a Martha Stewart brand, a fraction of the price that they were asking for on Pottery Barn, and just an overall very unique piece. They had a lot of these more simple, smaller pieces. I like this little elegant wooden bunny, perfect for spring and only $4.99. And then a lot of these really sweet pieces like this adorable spring teacup, and they also had a lot of items for your garden. These right here are one of the reasons that I absolutely love coming to TJ Maxx. Look at this beautiful vase. It's actually very large in size. It's recycled blown glass, just such an awesome shape, and only $24.99. And you really can find so many unique pieces like these, so they're really excellent to come and peruse and just stock up on some spring items for great prices. Next up, I visited my local antique and thrift shop, and I really just love coming to this place. It's called the Sleepy Poet. They just have so much inspiration, and some of these items are higher priced because they are genuine antiques. But it's the perfect place to go when you want some inspiration, or maybe if you are looking for a one-of-a-kind piece, something really different that you just can't find anywhere else, that you know that no one else is going to have a duplicate of. They have tons and tons of items like this. These right here are extra large lamps made out of vintage Chinese water pots. And then these caught my eye too. I absolutely loved these. These are imported from India. They were salvaged. They are concrete industrial molds. So they would use these to create patterns on the sides of buildings. And I just think that things like this are such a great way to add some vintage texture to your walls and just do something that's a little bit different than the traditional art pieces that we tend to think of. I see these vintage washboards every time I come here, and I think it's about time that I pick up a couple of them because they're just very cool. Again, another textural element that you can lay flat somewhere and maybe put some items on top of them styled, or you can hang them on your wall. And there's just something so charming and beautiful about all of these wooden pieces. They really just bring so much character, especially if you live maybe in a newer home. Like my kitchen is all white, so I love adding vintage looking pieces like this. Just adds so much more interest and style to your space. I was happy to see that the thrift store also had a lot of these vintage Valentine's Day items, and I really liked this apron. It was made from recycled fabric and just overall a very cool find. Next up, I headed over to Ross, and Ross is another store that I love because they have somewhat of a smaller home decor section, but you'll find great prices on really unique pieces that you wouldn't normally find in some of your other stores. And I really liked some of their smaller Valentine's Day arrangements. I thought that these florals looked pretty realistic and had a great price. And if you're looking for baskets and things like that, I was just stunned at the prices here at Ross. $9.99 for that large woven scalloped basket was an excellent deal. They also had a lot of really cute pillows, so if you're looking to just spruce up your couch a little bit for the seasons and just add some Valentine's Day touches, they had a lot of great options here as well. My next stop was our local HomeGoods, and now is of course the season where we're thinking about spending some more time outdoors, so you might want to check out their patio section. They had a lot of beautiful pieces of furniture that were reasonably priced. And of course, lots of Valentine's Day items when you walk in. I saw this couch and I thought that it was just a really beautiful piece. I love the shape of it. It would just be such a unique find, conversation piece, and a focal point if you had the right space for it. Lots of florals here at HomeGoods, and I specifically liked these tulips. They caught my eye. They were a Martha Stewart brand. I don't know for that price though, honestly. I've seen some really nice tulips online on Amazon, and I'll link those for you below, that are real touch and have a better price than these. But I did like the convenience in this case that they're already done for you. So if you're looking for something like that, HomeGoods is definitely a great place to shop. Loved this natural woven Valentine's Day wreath. What a cool piece. I thought that that was a great price for it. And then of course they had your more whimsical, more bold Valentine's Day wreaths like these right here, which were a lot of fun. I love when you can find vintage inspired pieces like this hand carved bunny at HomeGoods. What a cool piece for Easter, for springtime, $19.99, which was a great price for it. And I just thought overall it had so much character. And here's another really unique furniture piece that I loved. Again, if you had the right space for a piece like this, maybe in a bedroom where you want to accent with that gorgeous blue color, or you could even use this as a bar in your main living space if this is the style of your home. Love conversation pieces like that. Swapping out pillows and linens on your couch is one of the fastest ways to give your living space a pick-me-up, and they had so many great options here. I really loved this pillow in particular. I liked all the oranges. I like that it brings spring while keeping a lot of warmth in the pattern. And this right here is a perfect example of one of the reasons why I love HomeGoods so much, because they just have all these very cool, unique pieces like this. It's a marble spoon rest. I love the warmth of the colors in it, and look at that price, just an overall excellent deal. And they actually had tons and tons of marble serving pieces when I was there recently, as well as really beautiful wooden pieces as well, like this one that has a mother of pearl inlay, and driftwood pieces like this, which would look beautiful just placed on the side of a console table or a sofa table to just add that bit of texture and interest. They also had several new looking vases that I loved, like this one right here, which has the handles on it. I can just imagine tons of gorgeous colored spring florals, and having this set maybe in the center of a dining table or the side of a console table, paired with a sculptural piece like this. I just think the florals would really pop. So we're headed back home now, and I'm just adding a few things into my kitchen. So this was a wreath that I picked up from Hobby Lobby in my last video, which was a shop with me, along with some of these stems. And I love these stems because they're nice and sparse, so they remind me of what's going on outside right now in nature. We're starting to approach spring, so the leaves are very slowly starting to emerge from the branches, and I always like to mimic nature inside my home as well. I could sit around and wait all day. I'm going to be styling this little corner of my kitchen, and I'm going to start with this vintage stone mortar. I picked this up at the antique store, and I linked a similar option for you down below in my description with everything else that I could find. These are 2 asparagus bushel stems that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, so I added them into the mortar, and then now I'm just tucking in maybe 5 or 6 of these dried floral pieces just to add a little bit more dimension and a little bit more color. I don't wanna waste it on anybody. And as I was leaving HomeGoods, this was a total impulse buy. I saw it when I was standing in line, and it was just such a beautiful piece. I love the vintage frame. I love how it has just a slight touch of that sage green in the frame, and I love the colors here. It just reminds me of the approaching season of spring, and it's just so beautiful. It gets me excited and hopeful for the upcoming season, but it's not over the top, and the colors are just perfect. And if you did catch my last shop with me from Hobby Lobby, which I will link down below, you saw this jug that I found there that I love. It has that nice warm sage green, and I just needed a little pop of something in my glass cabinet. And now my kitchen feels complete. It has little touches of spring, again, nothing over the top, but just enough to remind me that spring is coming and keep me inspired in my home. There is nothing in you that is fading. Heading into our main living room, I wanted to swap out some stems. Again, this is another set that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, and very similar to the ones that I styled in the green vase. I like that these just look like they're about to start budding. They just have that nice green color, nothing too over the top, just a little subtle pop. And then I styled this smaller jug vase with just a cascading stem. Again, same thing, just wanted to bring some warmth, wanted to bring some greenery to the space. I also love adding succulents in. And while I do have some bolder choices, this is a much more subtle one. It's definitely more muted, but I love introducing it right as we're getting ready to move into spring. I don't wanna waste it on anybody. This was a super unique piece that I found at HomeGoods. It is a heart-shaped stone tic-tac-toe board, and I really like the thickness of it. I like that it came with these gold tic-tac-toe pieces. I really love when I can find very interesting pieces like this to place out on our coffee table. I purchased it since we're approaching Valentine's Day, but I'll probably keep this out in our upstairs loft area because it's just a fun piece. It's inviting and it's also aesthetically pleasing. I love whenever I have the chance to mix wood and stone. I just think that they go super well together. And this is another HomeGoods find. Again, just a really natural, nice way to bring in Valentine's Day. This time. Oh, we really had this time. So I have these 2 moss sconces. I purchased them many years ago, and I keep them up on our wall above our couch, and I always like to swap out the florals in them based on the seasons. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just giving it a little bit of a refresh, and I'm using all stems that I've had in the past. As you can see, I have a good amount of different textures and different colors. Very natural, very neutral, but just a little pop of spring with those stems in the very back. And then I just layered in one other stem in front of it. I like to work with the tallest items first when I'm doing any kind of floral arrangement. So that's what I'm doing here. Added those taller ones to the back, added those dried stems in front of that. And now I'm just tucking in a few of these pampas grass stems. They're just a really fun way to add a little bit of softness to the arrangement, break up the colors a little bit, and then just layering in some more texture with these little white mushroom stems. And now it looks complete. So I'm going to do the same style in the second one, and then I can hang these up on our wall. All you ever do is shine. You are brighter all the time. And I don't wanna waste it on anybody. I decided to swap out the arrangement on our dining table. So I'm just using this square black tray, this textured wood vase, and these are some stems that I also picked up from Hobby Lobby. I like that they're soft and that they just have a very natural color to them. And as you can see, I'm just varying the different heights of the stems, bending them in different ways so that even though they're the same stem, they tend to look a little bit different. And I made it a little extra wide and a little extra wild looking. Adding in that jug vase, the jug which I also picked up from Hobby Lobby in my last shop with me, and a few of those wooden taper candle holders, and some of those spring herb dish towels. I think that they just add a really nice pop of green to the space. Again, just gets me ready for the upcoming season of spring in a very subtle way. Also giving our antique bench a little bit of a refresh here as well. So I'm starting with just adding this blanket for some texture. And then this is a piece that I also picked up at HomeGoods. I love the shape of this piece. I think it's just super cool and unique, and it's nice and slim, so it's the perfect profile to sit there on that bench. And I just filled it with some filler that I picked up on Amazon, adding in that antique brass dual taper candle holder. And I'm showing you here how I'm using my trick of the 4 Fs from a video I did a couple weeks ago. It's a trick that I tend to use in most areas when I'm styling. So what it is a framework. I add a floral, a fabric, a flicker, and a focal point. So in this case, you see the floral on the left there, that little square arrangement. The fabric is, of course, the blanket. The flicker is the dual taper candle holder, and the focal point is this wood piece. I will link the full video for you below, just so that you have an idea of how it all comes together, but it's one of my favorite tricks, and it always works beautifully. I also picked up these shorter stems. These are these olive stems, and I love having a little bit of a Mediterranean feel, so I brought them in these wine bottle wall sconce vases that we have in our front room. And I needed something with just a little touch of green to soften up that space, framing that floor mirror, and I think that these turned out beautifully. I wanted to add a little bit of a spruce up on our little cocktail table in this room. So I'm just adding some of these eucalyptus stems. These are stems that I picked up a couple of years ago from Target. I think that they work really well with that stone vase. I love the shape of that vase, how it's rounded. I think it's the perfect height here. And I think that they all work really well together along with that taper metal candelabra. Doesn't feel quite time for me to pull out a spring wreath. So this wreath is a DIY that I did around the holidays, and I recently took all my Christmas stuff off of it, and now I just popped on this wooden heart. I picked this up from Michael's a few years ago, and just adding it to that greenery along with that natural rope works together really nicely and gives it a nice fresh update for Valentine's Day. And And speaking of Valentine's Day, I have two really delicious, pretty easy, and healthy recipes to share with you. I like to make recipes like this, especially for my kids, since we celebrate Valentine's Day. And in this case, I'm going to be using the heart-shaped silicone cupcake mold that I picked up on my last shop with me at Hobby Lobby. I just thought that they were so cute, and I knew that my kids would love them. You can also fill the molds with chocolate if you don't feel like baking anything, but this recipe came together really easily. Of course, I'll link it down below for you. It is a gluten-free recipe, and the only swap that I made was I swapped out regular sugar for coconut sugar, because that's just what I had on hand. But it's pretty basic. You mix wet ingredients and dry ingredients, you combine them together, and then I greased the mold with a little bit of coconut oil, and now I'm just filling it up with the batter from these cupcakes. And they're going to be vanilla cupcakes, and I'm going to top them with a little bit of vanilla frosting and some fresh strawberries, which you'll see in just a minute. So while they're baking, I'm going to prepare the icing. And in this case, it's just a few simple ingredients. I have some water and some honey, which I'm going to bring to a simmer. And this icing recipe is a healthier version as well. You actually use gelatin, which gives it a lot more volume. So I'm just adding some of that to the water there, and I'm going to allow a few minutes to let it bloom. And once it does, you're just going to add it to a stand mixer and whisk it. And now I'm pouring in that warm honey and water mixture that I had simmering on the stovetop, and we're just gonna let that go for a little bit. And then you see how quickly it puffs up and it turns that white color. It's pretty cool to watch. So once that's done, I'm adding some vegetable shortening to the mixture and a little bit of arrowroot powder and some salt and some vanilla extract. And then you're just going to keep that going, let it whip for about 8 minutes, add in a little bit of maple syrup, and then you have a delicious, creamy, healthier version. I like to think it's a healthier version of icing for your cupcakes. So in order to keep with the theme of Valentine's Day, I am just slicing these strawberries. And when you slice them lengthwise like this, they tend to make a natural heart shape. So that's what I'm going for, and I'm gonna top one of these slices on each of the cupcakes as soon as I'm finished icing them. I topped these with a little sprinkle of pomegranate powder. I had this powder in my pantry, and I just thought that it would make a really pretty pink hue on top of the icing, which it did. And then each cupcake, of course, gets a slice of that heart-shaped strawberry. These came out so cute, and they were so delicious. Again, I will link everything down below for you in the description. If you are looking for another really healthy option, something to celebrate Valentine's Day or really just anything, I have a friend who was doing the Whole30, and that was happening during her birthday. So I decided that I wanted to make her a Whole30 compliant quote unquote cake. So in this case, I went to my local grocery store and I picked up some watermelon and some pineapple and a couple of fresh berries. And as you can see, I'm just slicing the watermelon and the pineapple into a round, just sort of chunk like this. And then I just went ahead and sliced them so I can make some tiers for her. So this is going to be a 3-tier fruit cake. And once I had my tiers, I just went ahead and sliced up some kiwi and some more strawberries. And in this case, I used the heart-shaped tactic for the strawberries as well. So again, this can work for really any day, but I thought it would be cute to feature it for Valentine's Day since it has the heart shapes on it. Adding in some fresh blueberries, and then we're making a few skewers to add to the top of it. These skewers are just large grapes with some strawberries, and I think it turned out so beautiful. She was so happy that she could eat cake on her birthday. That's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you liked seeing my main living area and all the different spruce ups that I've done down here, and I really hope that you enjoyed the little Valentine's Day touches and the recipes at the end. Let me know if you guys like this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you guys again so much for being here, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.